So moving on from there, we had SmackDown, which was Friday night, and that was also watchable. They had a 11,644 attendance, which is a near sellout. I think they called it a sellout because they were like 30 seats off from selling out completely. We don't know what the ratings were for that. That stuff hasn't been put out yet. They had another opening segment with John Cena, and he made the ring announcer come out and re-announce him again after he had come out, and he cut a promo mocking the crowd, claiming that he had raised a generation. And Randy Orton came out and cut a promo, and it was a pretty good promo. I thought they had some good back and forth here. The Orton telling John Cena that he needs to have kids. I don't know that everybody knows this or not, but Cena doesn't want to have kids. That's something him and I share in common. And he's always been very vocal about not wanting to have kids. So Cena coming out, or Orton coming out and hitting him with the parent shaming angle, I thought was pretty good. And then Cena acting kind of disgusted and hitting him with the how dare you type of thing, and then proceeding to tell Randy Orton that he didn't have time to raise kids because he had spent the last 25 years raising all of you, and then he's pointing out to the fans and everything. Him attacking the fans the whole time instead of attacking the person that he's trying a promo with. I don't know how crazy I am about. But then ultimately, after they had a bit of back and forth, Randy challenged him for a match for the title, and he wanted to do it right now. And Cena, of course, said that we're not going to do it right now in typical heel fashion. And he told him that they'll do it at Backlash, so that they are going to have the title match at Backlash, like how we had suspected on Monday after they had their segment. Cena goes to attack Orton. Orton, of course, counters it and hits him with the RKO, holds up the title belt, leaves Cena land for the second night in a row, which most assuredly tells us that at the pay-per-view that Orton's not going to go over, but we're going to have fun watching the build between these two because they've had 25 years of working together. This is a lot of history to pull from, a lot of things that they can do here. Even though this was like the quote-unquote biggest feud during the low period of the 2010s, this is still a big deal of a feud with two main event marquee guys that are in the twilight of their career, but also probably able to do some of the best work of their career because of where they're at professionally. I think this is going to be good, and I didn't hate this promo. What do you think, TJ?
So we don't have the opportunity to really see a lot of all-time greats still wrestle each other like we did back in the Attitude Era. So to be able to watch that and it be like a historical kind of thing, it is really something that we take for granted. So I'm pretty excited that we're going to be seeing this, and it's kind of like nice that they're going to be able to put a bow on their feud together, and I'm sure this won't be the last that they're going to work with each other. They're not going to have a 2-week feud and it'd be the last time they work together. But this was good. Cena's delivery in this wasn't his best. I feel like this is one of his weaker promos since he came back. Everything Randy Orton's doing these days, he knocks it out of the park. I did enjoy this though. I know I was shitting on Cena a little bit, but it was good stuff. Cena, when he does his physical stuff, he's doing heel work correctly in the sense that he's being laid, he's cheating, and he's not coming off as a tough guy. Every heel in AEW is doing the same exact shit. They're all the same type of heel. Jon Moxley and Jungle Boy are the same exact type of heel. A tough guy that doesn't seem willing to be being laid out all the time and isn't willing to look weak in most situations, where Cena's left looking weak every time he's in there and putting guys over, in some sense. So it's good. I'm kind of shitting on the promos here, not the heel work. The heel work's great, and good stuff. And like I said, just sit back and enjoy this shit because it's the last time you're going to see it. And just enjoy two all-time greats while we're going to be able to see it. And they will highlight it as it being super memorable and historic. And I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. And for perspective, this is the first time that they have wrestled each other since 2017. And then before that, the last time that they had wrestled each other was in 2014 at Hell in a Cell. So, like, you know, it's been a minute since you've got to see these guys touch. So that's going to be big. It's going to be historical, like TJ said. And I think it'll live up to the hype. Both of these guys are good performers, and they know what to do. And, you know, they use the term just another day at the office, you know, because it's just another day at the office because they're just so comfortable working to each other. It'll be cool.
Yeah, in the end, this isn't another day at the office. This is the last time at the office for this. So this is like, if like two guys that you like working with are leaving at the same time. Not to say that Randy's leaving, but won't be working with John anymore.
Right. Yeah. This is potentially the last time that you're ever going to see these guys work together, unless somehow they get another match in before the end of the year.
Yep.
Which I probably doubt.
You can go ahead and move on.
The first match of the night comes out, and I'm not super familiar with these guys. This Fraxum, this Axum, and Nathan Frazier guy, and Legado del Fantasma. I don't know what the fuck that means. These two guys, Angel and Berto.
Angel and Berto are, you know, I feel like they showcase a lot of the up and coming tag team talent on SmackDown a lot more. And just the tag team division more on SmackDown in general. So they're on this show way more often. I'm not sure if I've ever seen them on Raw. Fraxum and Nathan Frazier are the NXT guys. They just lost the tag titles on WrestleMania weekend, right, on Saturday morning.
So we did see those guys on Stand and Deliver. Okay.
I don't know. It's just some guy in a mask and then some kind of short guy that is with them.
I felt like I was watching an AEW match, basically.
They had the exact same style. I'll have to see more of these guys before I reserve judgment. I don't want to be too harsh on them too quick, but
yeah,
not too much going on there.
Could go either way. Yeah.
Don't have much to say about that.
Nah, that's it. And then from there we have a women's division segment. Tiffany Stratton comes out, and she's got a nice little bump on her forehead from her match at the WrestleMania. All of her teeth are in fact intact. She didn't lose a tooth like we might have thought in the previous recording. It was like some kind of makeup or some shit got smushed in there. Her teeth were fine. When she came out for the press conference, they were fine. So she was fine, other than that big old bump on her head. So she comes out and she's asking everybody what time it is. And the whole arena is just, it's Tiffy time. I mean, this chick is over. She's probably the most over woman in the wrestling industry right now. I know it sounds like I'm just blowing her, but I mean, she's popular. She's over. The fans love her. They're losing their minds. Jade Cargill comes out and interrupts her and challenges her to a match, which I don't know why in the fuck you're gonna have fresh off of WrestleMania with a bump on her head Tiffany Stratton out here wrestling stiff-ass Jade Cargill. But that's what they're doing. And Jade looks like $1 million. She talks like a box of rocks.
Yeah, she doesn't sound like $1 million, huh?
No. And I feel like her in-ring is plateaued.
Everything's plateaued.
I don't know.
There was a time where she could at least talk and have a presence. But it's like her presence is she has no fucking confidence whatsoever.
Well, I think before, like with AEW, like they were just like, go out and you're gonna cut a promo and it's about this. And in WWE, it's a lot more heavily scripted. So I think that's probably where part of the disconnect is.
I know exactly what the disconnect is, at least in my opinion. So she in AEW was being scripted as well. I can promise you. But the thing is who she had that belt. She was in a position in that company where she knew that she was good. There wasn't a lot of talent there. Here, her her success in that company is based off how she does, and every day she goes out there and that doesn't do great, she probably feels less confident about it. So like she's got to prove herself. Where in AEW, she was kind of set right off the bat, and
Yep.
it's so like if she's going to be featured in a prominent position in this company, she's going to have to earn it. And I don't see it fucking working out too well. But hey, what do I know? Maybe they'll push her new ways because of what she looks like. But uh, she
They'll find a way to do something with her. I
yeah,
mean,
they did with Bianca Belair. They could have her do the tag titles with somebody that can have good matches and talk for her. But on her own, man, I don't think it's looking good. And like you said, she looks great. She doesn't sound great. Her matches stink. They've gotten worse. She sounds worse. Um, I saw every bit of her professional wrestling career so far, and I don't have much good to say about it. Hopefully she proves
she
me
should be
wrong.
further ahead
Yeah.
than where she is now in terms of her in ring for sure.
Hopefully she proves us
I don't know.
wrong, but I don't see
Yep.
it.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things to remember is anytime that we bring up anything like this, like we're not just shitting on these people. Like we don't want anybody to do bad. Like we want all of these people to do good. We want as much as it we would have a little bit less content to talk about if we were able to get on here every week and tell you, oh yeah, this is great and it was better than last week. From a fan standpoint, that would be awesome. But anyway,
Yeah, it's not happening.
they had a match. It was a match. It looked pretty rough. Nia Jax ended up coming out and
Hold on. So we
after
got
Tiffany or Naomi, I'm sorry, came
yeah.
out first and attacked Jade.
Highlight what happened there.
What do you mean?
So Naomi jumped on Jade and gave the worst ground and pound of all time in all of wrestling. It was a complete joke. It looked terrible, man. Like I don't even know how to describe what she was doing, what she thinks was happening. She's been in wrestling way too long for like this to be something that she's doing, and like man, it was rough. She didn't connect. She was hitting her elbows. At one point she just starts flailing her arms around and they're like wet noodles. And man, what a sad scene for everybody involved. And if it was me, when she went back there, I'd be like, you need to sit out for a couple months and think about what the fuck you just did on our TV show, because it sucked.
Yeah, it
And
was not great. I must have like blocked that out of my mind because I've watched SmackDown a couple of times because we're recording on Sunday instead of Saturday today. So I watched it twice yesterday just to kind of remember what happened. And man, my brain must have thought that that was so traumatic that it just blocked that part out because I completely forgot about that. Man, that part sucked.
and then you,
Holy
and
shit!
then you have Nia Jax come out and it's just like,
Nobody
no
wants to
thanks,
see her.
no thanks. That's all I got to say about that.
Nep-
You can go ahead and move on.
Nepo Jax.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we that happened, and boy, anything's gonna look better by comparison after that. But we have the United States Championship segment next. Jacob Fatu comes out with Solo Sikoa. They're celebrating Fatu's United States Championship win at WrestleMania. He's pretty over with the crowd. He needs to hit the gym. He's looking kind of sloppy. I know a lot of the Samoan dudes are famous for being a little doughy or whatever and still being tough badasses. Here's the thing with that, though. It's 2025, and modern sports medicine has improved to the point where you, with the proper dieting and exercise, can look like Superman. So he just needs to hit the gym a little bit more. Is my chief criticism about Jacob Fatu. Other than that, I like everything that he's doing, and maybe I'm just being a dick. Not everybody needs to be a jacked action figure looking guy, but I don't know. Hit the gym,
You can only go south so long, right?
right?
But yeah, Jacob Fatu's the man. He's getting good reactions. This whole thing was awesome. It's kind of weird. Drew McIntyre seems like he's taking a step down in the company, but their mid card scene's awesome. Like I'd say that their mid card scene right now rivals any point that they've ever had in the company. wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's
LA Knight is the
littered
man.
with guys we'll be seeing in the Hall of Fame in like 15 years, 20 years.
But they're all good too. Jacob
Yeah.
Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and who else was it? Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa,
Yeah,
yeah.
like Solo
Solo
Sikoa's
is
the
probably the
weakest,
worst out of all of those dudes, yeah.
but he's still good. He's a good
He's
heel.
lost a bit of that aura that from what that he had, I feel like. But he's probably like a permanent mid card guy. I don't see him ever being a main event guy past the main event stuff that he was doing with the Bloodline. That's not a knock on him. I mean, if you could have a good career as a dependable, good mid card guy, I mean, yeah, that's still
He's definitely
better
going
than
to be
most.
working against Jacob here very soon. And I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised
and
if he
then
has his two other cousins all turn on him and he takes the belt from him and they do a program with them for a while. Seems like the
like
next logical step, right?
a third Bloodline.
And whatever. That I feel like that's what they're gonna do. But this was a good segment. I like everybody involved. We can move on to the next match
Yeah,
if you want.
yeah. We got Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green, your United States champion Chelsea Green, and this was a match that was, you know, not terrible, not great. They had a fair bit of back and forth. I don't know. I don't. It's just an average match. I felt like, there's nothing crazy that stuck out here to me. Both of these chicks are stars. They both are super over. Zelina Vega ended up winning and got a pretty good pop when she finished the match. Um,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
crowd seemed pretty excited for her. She had a little bit of tears in her eyes. This is her first championship in the company, so it's a big deal for her personally and professionally.
yeah, I mean it was an alright
I,
match.
I've been watching her since the like mid 2000s when she was in TNA. She used to be with out there with Hernandez and Sarita. She was Rosita. They had a women's tag team of Sarita and Rosita. They'd be out there feuding with like the beautiful people and stuff like that. So I mean, she's been in the industry a long time. I mean, she's not very old now. She's been in the industry since she was like 19 years old. So she's been doing this for a long time. So it was good to see her get the nod. Um,
Yeah,
Not a whole lot to say.
it should be good. Good for her. It's they just introduced the U.S. and women's or intercontinental titles, so it's nice seeing other girls have a chance to shine like the guys do. And she's short girl, but
5'1".
her in ring works decent enough, and she can definitely cut one hell of a promo compared to a lot of the chicks on the roster. So
I,
I'm
I actually looked that up last night. Her
yeah,
being 5'1", but most of the women wrestlers are between 5'1" and
well,
5'5"
she
was
looks
another
shorter
thing
than
that
all
I
the other
noticed on
ones.
that. Well, yeah, because it's still 4 inches shorter than a lot of these other. And then like the bigger ones are like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
Megan Bain on AEW looks like she's giant compared to these other girls, and she's 5'8". So I mean,
nothing,
5'8" is not giant,
but
but she appears that way.
um, overall they accomplished what they wanted and they got a good reaction, and I'm sure they would have got this on WrestleMania if they could, but this is the second week in a row that she's beat her on SmackDown, and we'll see where this goes. And it's funny because like I don't know if it's her husband or her boyfriend, but shows up next, right?
Oh yeah, they're married. I think they got
Okay.
married in 2017,
Yeah.
2018. That was something I was reading yesterday. So we have a little segment backstage with Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Miz gives him a necklace. He's his boyfriend. No, I'm just kidding. He's praising him for winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Hayes is thanking him for his support. Miz comes out to the ring and he's cutting a pretty good whiny standard Miz promo, complaining about being overlooked, being on WrestleMania. He's pissed off about not being at WrestleMania. Reminds everybody, and he loves to remind everybody this, and it's a good stat to be able to have to pull out of the pocket. He beat John Cena and retained the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. There's not a lot of times that has happened. So that's a great jump off spot for Miz to always be able to use. And then while he's cutting his promo, the lights go out. And there's no more Undertaker when the lights go out. And smart fans already knew that this was going to be Aleister Black. And, his music starts, the little candles light up and everything. The fog rolls in. And they used his old entrance and music from NXT, where he's like laid out, like he's got his arms across his chest, like he's dead or asleep. And the thing stands him straight up. And as soon as it hits the top, opens his eyes, takes a step off of it, looks around at it, and takes everything in. And everybody in the arena is going nuts. He takes a step forward, the screen flashes Aleister Black, and the building, the roof comes off of the building. He feels like every time that somebody comes back to WWE from AEW, and I know I said this earlier in the show, that they're more over than they were when they left, and that's definitely the case here. I popped pretty hard for this. I'm really glad to see him back. I was a huge fan of his work in NXT. Really big fan of what he did in AEW. He was an example of doing the best that you could with what you were provided to work with. And so anyway, he makes his entrance to the ring, and his entrance is great. I mean, this is one of those ones, you don't have guys like The Undertaker or Bray Wyatt to have these cool, like theatrical, cinematic style entrances. So to be able to get something in like that is great. He slowly comes up to the ring, does a little flip over the top ropes, and lands in the center of the ring in his little cross-legged sitting down style. It's really cool. For those of you that may have missed the show and don't know what I'm talking about, it's up on YouTube. WWE's YouTube has uploaded a bunch of times. It's got over 1 million views already. The dude's a star. And his music ends. He stands up. Miz is pissed off that he got interrupted. Boom. Black drops him with Black Mass. Segment is essentially over. His music hits again. He slowly walks out. This was awesome. TJ, what did you think about this?
I mean, he pretty much hit everything on the head. It's the second guy to show up from AEW. I mean, they both worked in WWE previously, but this is the second guy to come back this week.
This week?
Yeah. So now, I guess after WrestleMania every year, instead of just looking forward to the NXT call-ups, you're going to see the AEW returns from WWE or just the AEW people coming over for the first time. But overall, great stuff. This is one of Triple H's guys. He will be, at some point in the future, positioned as one of their top guys in the World Championship scene, and good stuff. It's looking kind of bright for them. I was kind of thinking, like, a couple weeks ago, like, man, once, like, Punk and Reigns and a couple of these other guys, Seth, are out of there, like, it's going to be looking rough. But as long as they get the right rub from those guys on the way out, they're going to be looking pretty great. And I'm happy to see him back. And I didn't watch much of his WWE run, and I heard it wasn't that great under Vince. I definitely didn't see his NXT stuff, and I didn't see his short time in WWE. But good for him. Should be nice. It's cool for him that he's back working at the same place with his wife too, and she's having some success. So I'm sure he's probably happier personally than he's been in a while.
Oh yeah.
Mental health has a big part to play in how well you succeed in things in your life, and he should be putting on the best work that he has in a while, because from everything that I heard, he wasn't very happy over there, so he probably wasn't very motivated to work very well.
Yeah, they definitely, the quality of the stuff that they had him doing over there definitely fell off, and it was through no fault of his own. I don't believe. You only can do what you can do within the confines that they allow you to do it in. It's not your show. It's somebody else's.
For sure.
But anyway, so that all happened, and that was awesome. And then we get a little backstage segment with Bianca Belair, and she's telling everybody that she's recovering from her WrestleMania injuries. And she's got a broken finger or two. I know that there was a spot where I saw her, like, kind of like shaking her hand and clutching it. I can't remember exactly what had happened, but maybe she did get hurt. So she did actually get hurt there. That wasn't just a thing that they were selling. And then now that happens, and nobody really cared, to be honest with you. Then Nia Jax and Naomi have a little bit of a backstage confrontation right after that. Nia Jax is telling Naomi that, she doesn't care about what she's doing with Jade Cargill, but to stay out of her way when it comes to the title. And Naomi tells her as long as she uses caution, because she's wearing the caution tape here now. Nobody really cares about this either. And then we move on to the fourth match of the night, which is a number one contender match for the United States Championship, and is Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight. And, this was a pretty good match. I thought that I always, when I see Drew McIntyre have a match with a lot of these guys, because McIntyre is now the size of like an old school wrestling guy. You know what I mean? He's like 6'7" and he's jacked. So when you see him going against a lot of these
huge
modern guys, it's almost like, but he always finds a way to make these matches with these dudes look believable. LA Knight's a star. They had a good back and forth. Solo Sikoa ended up coming out and attacking LA Knight, and Damian Priest attacked McIntyre. Jacob Fatu, ended up kind of destroying both of them after the attack, and was standing tall with the U.S. title to end the segment. They're building this pretty well. I assume that this is going to lead us to a triple threat match at Backlash between McIntyre, LA Knight, and Jacob, and somehow Jacob will come out of it with the belt as a way to kind of elevate him and make him appear to be more of a legitimate badass. I don't know. What did you think of this segment, TJ?
I don't know. I mean, overall, pretty good stuff. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head with everything pretty well. Not trying to keep mirroring you there, but I don't really have too much to add.
That's okay. Sometimes it is what it is. So we'll move on to the next segment then. We get a little bit of a backstage segment with R-Truth and John Cena. And R-Truth's congratulating Cena on his title win. And, he's telling him that if he ever needs anything, he'll have his back. I think that this will be something that will come into play at some point.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing a manipulative heel John Cena. And R-Truth always behaves like an innocent child. So at some point, when something's going on with Cena, he's going to employ R-Truth to have his back. And, Jimmy Uso comes up and tells R-Truth that Cena is whack.
Yeah, they're definitely going to do something in the future with this. It should be nice. I'm looking forward to seeing how he takes advantage of R-Truth. He should be able to get some good heat with that.
Yeah, they definitely can get some mileage out of this. R-Truth is super over. Maybe you and I are just reading more into it than what it actually is, but I feel like that it's a missed opportunity if they don't use him and Truth somehow.
Yeah.
And then so go ahead.
No, that's about it. It's just looking forward to it. It should be good stuff. And we can go ahead and move on to the main event here, the triple threat TLC match for the WWE World Tag Team Championships.
This was a really good match. I didn't say that about any of the matches right out of the gate from SmackDown this week. It's criminal that this match wasn't on WrestleMania. I don't know why they elected to leave this off. This match should have been on WrestleMania. That's how good of a match that this was. The Street Profits are actively improving. I wasn't much of a fan of theirs, but they really are getting a lot better. And this match showcased all three teams' ability to have a good match, I think. I especially enjoyed the spot where Montez Ford used the guy's fake leg to beat one of the, I can't remember if he was hitting a Motor City guy or a DIY guy with the fake leg. But the guy in the crowd takes his fake leg off and is holding it at him, and Ford grabs it and just hits the guy with it and tosses it. And to the fake leg guy's credit, if you're out there, when Ford tossed the leg back to him, he tossed it back to him from like 5 or 6 feet away, and the dude caught it perfectly. He's been catching that leg for a while, probably. But what did you think about this match, TJ?
It was a great match. Not really going to break it down or anything, but everybody's saying it's one of the best TLC matches ever, and I don't know, it's it sucks it wasn't on WrestleMania, because it seems like all these guys deserve to be on WrestleMania, even if they were going to do some kind of pre-show to just highlight these guys. But I guess at least they got to show what they can
Yeah.
do. And what is it? The Street Profits are really showing like that they can put on some good matches, and it'll be nice if they get put in a good program to show the other aspects of their talents in wrestling. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else they get into. And it was a great match.